What is up, my possums, my friends? Josh and I are here tonight to do a Wild Card Wednesday episode. We are Offensive Points brought to you live by the IDP Plus Network. Our friend Billy, our third host, is at the Thunder game. So Thunder up. Hope they can take it. He'll be a very happy man. So you get Josh and I tonight. We're just going to spit some thoughts that we've been chewing around all off season, and we're very excited to bring that to you. Josh, how are you, man?
Dude, I didn't know we got PTO, man. I feel like we never take days off, and Billy's going to just take a day off to go see a sporting event that's not even football related. It's just
Yeah,
weird.
it's crazy.
I guess it's fine. We can get there.
Yeah, hopefully
Um,
they win, man. I would like to see that. I want to see Thunder Pacers. That would be sick.
I've seen a lot of hate online about it, by the way, about how this is going to be the most boring finals or whatever. And I'm like, I kind of like that it's not the number one seeds all the time. Like, I mean, I know that the Thunder are a number one seed, but like, I hate when it's like Celtics Lakers every year or whatever. Like, obviously, the Jordan situation was entirely different. That was amazing. We loved seeing that. I'm sure people probably got tired of it, but I feel like the Jordans, okay, it's like, let's compare Jordan to like Tom Brady. Everyone hated Tom Brady by the end of it. Did
Yeah,
anyone hate Jordan? Like,
I think
I'm sure
I
there
think
was like
people got more
Celtics fans
tired of
and
the Bulls in general than Jordan
yeah, was
himself.
there
But
fatigue? Was there Bulls fatigue? I mean, we didn't really. I mean, yes, we lived through that, but we were children, so like very young children at that time. But like, was there Bull? There probably was Bulls fatigue. Everyone gets tired of watching the same team win, especially when you have a team that's losing every year. Like that's the worst.
yeah,
But
I
I
don't know, the
guess
thing
I'm
with
just not
Jordan
old
though
enough
is he
for it.
made like every clutch shot, and he made like I don't know. It's kind of hard to hate on him. It's kind of like hating on Tiger without the scandal. With the
Yeah,
scandal, it
that's
makes it easy to do, but you can't deny what he did from like '99 to 2005. It was just crazy. So,
yeah. No, hoping
oh,
Billy gets to see a winner and a conference championship as well, which will be super cool for him and his mom. So shout out to Billy and Miss Manziel. Hope you all have a good time. I just want to get something off the top. Like I know we actually haven't talked about football yet. I don't think, and we're gonna not for just one more minute. I was in the bathroom doing what people do in the bathroom for long periods of time, and someone rang my doorbell and knocked. And the only people who ever do that are like my parents or like my wife's parents. And so I was like, okay, who's here? Like, gotta hurry up. Let's get out there. It was a door to door salesman, and this man, I literally walked out and did my normal routine, not interested. And he's like, "Hell, I'm sorry, what?" And I was
was
like,
it
"Dude,
pest
he caught
control
me."
or roofing?
Yes, it was pest control. But this was okay. So I've never like believed in the whole "you were born to be a doctor, I was born to be a lawyer." Like people always say like, "Oh, you're good at talk." I've been told this too. Like, "Oh, you're good at talking. You'd be such a good lawyer." Like people say that like to kids, and then people like believe it throughout their whole life. This man was born to be a door to door salesman. I swear to God, this man came to my door. I said not interested. About slammed the door on him, and he was like, he caught me so off guard by just saying, "I'm sorry, not interested in what?" And I was just like, what? Okay, okay, fine. Do your pitch, man. Like, I'm cool with it. Like, let's do it. He's like, well, I was just in the neighborhood and some people were, getting some pest control. And, I see some spider webs up here and, there's ants around and whatever. And I was just like, he's like, well, what do you do for that? And I was like, I just spray myself, whatever. I'm just trying to play along here. And like, I'm just getting bored and I want to go finish up in the bathroom. Like, I'm standing here like, all right, this is fine. And this man looks at me and just keeps going on about his pitch. And I was just like, I think I'm good with what I got. I also have a no solicitor sign over here or whatever. And this man turns to me and like I didn't catch it in real time. And he literally goes, well, the bugs don't listen to the no solicitor sign, man. Like I
Bro,
was just like, I've never once been like thrown it at a telemarketer or whatever, I guess whatever, door to door salesman that I have a no solicitor sign, please go away. But I did it. And like, I was caught so off guard. I didn't realize it till later. I actually have the clip. I wish I would have put it on here. Like I have a camera at my front door. But man, this guy literally just goes, the bugs don't listen to that no solicitor sign. And I was like, man, this dude's born to be it. I did not buy anything or whatever. I was still pretty pissed about it. But after looking back on it, it was hilarious. That dude deserved a medal for that joke and probably a raise. I don't know how much
yeah,
he's getting paid.
yeah, you definitely that's smooth, dude. I mean, I worked in
It was
sales for a
so
long time, and
smooth.
that's just oof,
Dude, I
that's
did
cool.
canvassing whenever I was like 16 years old, like just trying to make a quick buck. And I'd knock and be like, hey, your soffit and fascia is looking a little rough. You might want to get that fixed. We have a company that does that or whatever. When people told me no, I was like, all right, whatever, man, cool. Or I'm going to go hang out with my friends, go, whatever. Like, but this guy just smiles at
Yeah,
the rejection. Like, it was just amazing. Like, honestly, looking back
that's
on it all.
that's awesome, man. I like how they ride around on those one-wheelers now. I'm real jealous.
It was a two-wheeler, but it was like a Segway, but he didn't have a handlebar. It was just like his feet line, like, and it was basically like one
Oh
of
yeah.
they call a hoverboard, but it had like a little bar where his like shins touched. I don't know. I saw it in my driveway as I was mad at this guy, but like at the end of the day, man, I just want to apologize. I know I still don't want your business, but like, what a good salesman, what a good guy. Like,
Yeah.
just hate when people are like, "Hey, you want to buy something?" I was like, "No, I don't want to buy anything."
Well,
Like,
dude, we get inundated with the pest control and the roofing, and
yeah.
it's crazy. So they got to know what's up. But what was the
Oh
company?
yeah.
Was it Eco Shield?
I can't tell you. I could go
That's
back
been
and
the
look at
hot
the
one in our
camera, but
neighborhood.
it was,
We had a
dude.
guy
It
to
was
go
just,
twice yesterday, and then Julianne said, "No, come back tomorrow." And he came back tomorrow. It was his third time, and he was really selling me on it.
that's the first. That's the first mistake. You don't ever tell him to come back. But no, I
Yeah.
swear I seen this dude working for a different company too. Like I swear at one point he did the same thing, and maybe I just didn't answer the door and never found out. But man, that guy was born to be a door-to-door salesman, just like I guess we were born to do this podcast. So without further ado, let's get into some football, or whatever, some sort of football related shenanigans.
All
Wild
right.
Card Wednesday.
So, first of all, join us at the expo. Go to the fantasyfootballexpo.com and buy tickets August 8th through 12th. We will be there. We may or may not buy you a beer. We probably will. Josh has got a couple on his
I
tab.
like that's gotten smoother and smoother as it's gone on. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not
I
as
was doing the
aggressive.
math on 17 beers, Josh, and I was just like, damn, I think that might be too much. So I
Thanks,
dialed
man.
it back. But
Appreciate it.
no, for sure. Oh, got some news here, so let's listen.
Offensive points news roundup, hooray! Catch the stories of the day. Bright and breezy, sharp as a dart. This roundup hits you straight in the heart.
The smooth Fallout music that I cannot hear, and I just watched the timer. I really wish I could hear it. But
Such a great
starting
song.
off, man. Starting off, we got Shedeur Sanders apparently looking real good at Browns OTAs. And we got Joe Flacco being asked about being a mentor, and he immediately snapped at the camera and he said, how can I answer this correctly? If I answer it that I do want to be a mentor, I'm putting myself in a position to be a backup. And if I say I don't want to be a mentor, I look like an asshole. Those are my words, not his. But Josh, who do you think is going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns come week 1?
Well, fun fact, Kenny Pickett was taking first team reps from my understanding. So it's hard for me to guess because you said Shedeur is like the 5th on the depth chart, I think, at the moment, which is just so wild. I know nothing about is it Dylan Gabriel, the other quarterback they drafted? Know nothing about him, so I couldn't even tell you if that guy's good or not. But you got Flacco, you got Pickett, and then isn't there another one too? Because there's 5
Watson.
QBs. Watson.
Injured,
oh well,
man. Yeah.
Right, Watson. Okay, well, I think we could safely say Watson's not starting. I have to feel like it's going to be Flacco to start. For one, had some experience there, which is great, but not to mention is a veteran, and just to give him the nod at first would be the smartest move. Now, Pickett would be an interesting choice. I know a lot of people hate Pickett, but Pickett did just get done sitting a year, and I have to imagine learned a thing or two from the Eagles and not just the tush push. Don't think he could pull that off anyway. So I want to say it's to start the year, Flacco, Pickett, maybe vice versa, and then Shedeur. I know that they like this other rookie too, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to me. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm kind of with you, man. I think Flacco or Pickett are going to start. I mean, for the skill position players, for Jerry Jeudy, for Njoku, I would like Flacco to be the quarterback because he can at least throw it. I mean, that's kind of where I'm leaning, but I think Flacco will be the starter. But man, it's going to be interesting to watch, and we're going to see that so and so took first team reps all until August. I mean, it's going to be so and so was on the field with the first team today, and it's just going to be like, okay, well, let's start trying to see a trend here because it's going to be really hard to predict. So
the most interesting thing is most teams only have 3 quarterbacks on an active roster. So unless they were to bump Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur down a taxi squad, or sorry, they call it taxi squad in regular NFL, or we're just thinking fantasy. Practice squad, sorry.
Practice squad.
I just think I'm a fantasy brand over your dynasty all day. But yeah, no, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, one of those guys is going to probably have to go on that unless they decide to cut ways with Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco. So it's like, if you put Shedeur on the practice squad, though, you have to assume someone's going to go grab him. But I don't know.
He's going to
honestly.
get sniped immediately.
but everyone passed on him. So it's one of those situations where it's like, I'm really curious to see the start of the season for the Browns, which is weird.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, they traded for Pickett. I can see him dropping Flacco and rocking Pickett, Gabriel, and Shador going into the season, but I don't know. I've been trying, man. I drafted Pickett in a super flex real late, but
I bet.
Yeah, I was like, you're sitting there. I didn't have any choices, so I was like, give me Pickett. I'll take a shot at him.
A lot of people hate Kenny Pickett, but that team didn't do him any favors either. I mean, and they threw him to the Wolves to start as a third round quarterback draft pick. Like, that man was not ready. Now, had he sat behind a Joe Flacco or a Sam Darnold or I don't know, some veteran-ish quarterback, we're running out of the old veterans, Joe Flacco's and Matt Ryan's and such, but had he sat a year, maybe behind Roethlisberger, maybe they did it a little bit earlier instead of like just having him as the complete successor, no warm up. Maybe that would have been a little bit better. But at the end of the day, like he's going to be probably in the league for a while as at least a backup quarterback. I think he has an opportunity to have a Geno Smith year one day. Like, maybe he'll get a contract. I mean, I think a lot of people hate Kenny Pickett just naturally. And if I was a Steelers fan, I probably would too, because it's pretty embarrassing. But at the end of the day, he finished 9-8, 8-9 each year. Yeah. Actually, I guess better 8-8 and 9-8. I mean, he never finished under 500. I mean, at the end of the day, he played ball. He's a game manager.
Yeah. So. Hopefully, he learned enough in the Eagles, man. I'm hoping your team did him well.
I have to imagine he learned something. But anyway,
he had to learn so. He learned how to get pushed in the tush.
Obviously.
Now, second story. I did not know it got cold in Miami, but it's definitely snowing there over the weekend. Stephon Diggs, really? Cardi B on a boat doing God knows what. What does this do for Stephon Diggs? Vrabel came out and said, we're aware of it. We want to get the details. I mean, obviously there's no way to prove what was in that bag, but that's a pretty bad look on a guy coming off of an ACL that they just signed a massive money. How do you think this affects anything?
When you said it was snowing in Miami, I was like, for real, dude? It's been hot as shit here. We're up north. And then I just realized what you're saying. That bag was, it was drugs, man. Like, there was no doubt about it. I've been to a party or two. You can always tell when people are, feeding around someone. Like, there's some drugs, man. And we saw the bag pretty clear cut. I mean, I'm assuming a random drug test is coming, but unfortunately those kind of substances get out of the system fast. And I'm assuming Diggs is smart enough to do a flush or, drink a lot of water the next couple of days to make sure he doesn't come around for a little while until that's out of the system. But not a good look to start, especially for a guy who's like trying to stay in the league. It gives me, and I want to say like less CTE version of Antonio Brown feelings about it. Like it just like I can do whatever I want. I'm the best. I'm great. Which to be fair, Diggs, you were a great wide receiver. We'd like to see you still be a good wide receiver. Obviously, some injuries derailed your career, and a lot of trades and different teams. I'd like to see him be the Brandon Cooks type player where he can just fit in on any team, right?
Yeah.
And this team needs it. So, like, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that were like, I don't care what was in that bag. I just need him to be able to catch balls, which is super fair. I don't know if it really affects anything. I mean, off the field issues are annoying, but usually as long as it's not something egregious, most people get away with it, sadly. I mean, the world we live in. Rich people can do things like that. If we would have done that, we would have been investigated by the police immediately. But
no, instantly.
Good thing we
probably would have kicked down our door. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, this Stephon Diggs, he skipped voluntary OTAs, which is whatever. I mean, he's a veteran, he can do that. But to be caught with cocaine the same weekend you're skipping OTAs, that is it's pretty wild. And I don't know, we saw him blow up on Josh Allen. He might have a little bit of Antonio Brown in his system. We'll see about that.
Yeah. I'm hoping not, man, because that team, although they have some players, like they really need a veteran to lead that room, and a person doing drugs on a boat is probably not the veteran to lead that. But hey, man, we've been wrong about this kind of stuff before. Hopefully, he goes in, and you think he'd want to be coaching these kids now, but man, if Cardi B invited you to a boat, like what are you gonna do? Say no? I mean, he looked like he was having a good time.
Yeah, you might as well do drugs on a boat. I mean, that's what I want my leaders doing. I don't know about you.
The video was really unfortunate. I probably would have been like, hey, no phones, no videos of me, at least. Like, I don't know. People don't think about it when they're doing drugs, though, probably, I imagine.
No. Man was having a good time in Miami. All right. Dude, it's off season. We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. But we had Kyle Pitts not participating in OTAs either. has not showed up yet. He's going in the last year of his contract. There are some rumblings that he might be looking for a new contract. Everyone is back on the Kyle Pitts bus after being off of it
Again?
and then back on it again. I'm not.
We're still doing this?
Yeah.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong.
5 years later.
I like him.
We're still doing
I like him for his value. This is where I think he should be in general. Like, 8th tight end off the board, man. It's the hope and dream tight end for your team. I actually did see something about that recently, and his ankle was bothering him. They came out after they had mentioned he's not there. They had to come up with an excuse. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But if he's looking for a contract, that kind of makes – I didn't really think about that whenever I saw that report, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I want a contract too, but, we're not really getting paid much off that contract. It's going to look bad. Maybe go play some football and get your contract after next year. Everybody, and don't get me wrong, I understand it, and it sucks for people. Like, obviously, he's going to be in the league for 6-7 more years, right? Like, everyone wants their contract early now because contracts, but, like, at the end of the day, like, you're going to make more money by not getting your contract now. Or if you have a good year, obviously. If you have a bad year, get injured, shitty. But, like, go have the best year of your career this year and then get paid even more than you would have because the next year is going to be paying more. The next tight end is going to get the next bag. And my logic is, like, I understand it's a guarantee. It's nice to have a little 3-year guarantee or a certain amount of money guarantee. But, like, in my opinion, Pitts hasn't earned it, dude. Like, not for what he is. As a first-round tight end, don't they have a 5th-year option for him?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's something that they can do. I mean, he came in at 20, so, I mean, he's going to be 25 this year, so he might be – I don't know. That's just crazy, though, because he's 24, and if he does get a contract extension done for 3-4 years, he could probably be signing another – seeing how he does, another massive contract at age 28, which is wild to me.
Or even get an extension and, like, still get money, like guaranteed money. That's what actually there's rumors of that being eliminated. I guess he has been in the league for 4 years, so this is his contract year, 100%. I was like, but like 2 600-yard seasons, 1 good rookie season, and a mid season in between there with some injuries, but like mostly been healthy. Missed 6-7 games in his career. Like, this is not the time to be wanting your. Honestly, I would have been wanting to do better last year if I was him, and. Can't say it was all his fault, but hopefully him and Penix are, building a good rapport at the very least.
Yeah. And see, I mean, my 2 thoughts there. One, we had such a small sample size for Penix last year that are we really buying into this?
There isn't a sample. I mean, that's not a real sample.
No, 3 games is not enough to really see anything that's happening there. I mean, the Drake London 21 targets through 2 games, or was it 27? I can't remember. That's really nice, but I mean, that's a small sample size. And my other one is, I mean, Kirk Cousins is still on this roster getting paid a mega amount of money. So you're not going to be able to extend Kyle Pitts to anything worthwhile while Cousins is still on the roster. There's a lot of trade rumors. Pittsburgh says they're into him. He could go to New Orleans. I don't know why they'd trade him to them, but, maybe try to get him off the roster.
I could see Kirk Cousins going to New Orleans. I mean, they love veteran QBs. I did have one more news person. I don't really care about Kirk Cousins, but I don't know. Is there any final thoughts you want to talk about Pitts? I mean,
no.
I'm
wary.
Yeah, I like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, Pitts has the talent and we want to see it, right? Like, that's what it comes down to. But there's one more news story. Apparently, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I did see the report earlier. Justin Fields was sacked like 6 times on 12 of his dropbacks and completed like 3 balls of the other 6 in his OTA's performance. Don't quote me on those numbers. They are not accurate. I just made them up. They are semi-accurate. Like, they're based on, it's like based on a true story type situation. But are we at all surprised by a report coming out that Fields looks bad on his first day of OTAs? Or, no. Are we worried as well, I guess?
I would say no and no. I mean, Fields is going to do what Fields does, and that's get sacked a lot, get you a ton of rushing yards, and look like a G for 3 games out of the year. I mean, that's what Fields is going to do. I don't think he's set up for an insane amount of success with the passing weapons. I mean, Garrett Wilson's awesome, and Breece Hall's awesome, but Justin Fields is going to be asked to do a lot of things behind a subpar offensive line. And that's what you're going to get. I mean, he's going to take a lot of sacks. If you're in a league where you lose points for sacks, probably not. He's probably going to fumble a lot too. But the games that he hits, he is going to absolutely hit and tear it up for you. So he's the perfect number 2 quarterback. I mean, he really is. And with where he's going right now, it's super easy to snag him in that spot.
Oh, yeah. So I want to just caveat all of this with saying he's redshirting, so he's not running. Like at the end of the day, like I'm not worried about this at all because Justin Field as a pocket quarterback was not what anyone's signing up for. You're signing up for Justin Fields 100 rushing yards. Really, if you're playing Justin Fields in fantasy, like you're playing with having him on your team, you are just playing for the floor, right? And hoping for the ceiling. Because that's the one good thing about a mobile quarterback, especially someone like Fields, who's going to, like you said, doesn't really have a whole lot of weapons, has some fun ones, but it's not great. You're hoping for that like automatic 12 that you're going to get. Because it's like, he's going to run for 70, 80 yards average per game, maybe 60, so you got 6-7 points there. And then he's going to throw for 150 at the very minimum, I would imagine, other than a bad game. So there's another like 4 points there, depending on how your QB setup is. And then you're hoping he throws and or rushes for a touchdown. And then you have a viable starter. It's literally like, it's the ugliest stat line, but at the end of the day, it works in fantasy because of the rushing.
Oh, yeah, and it's horrible to watch, too. I mean, I'm a Bears fan. I watched a lot of it. But if he's on your fantasy team, it's bad to watch, especially if you're losing
Bears,
points.
That was when he was good.
No, I know, but it's sketchy to watch, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, this is either going to be a strip sack or a 90-yard touchdown. I mean,
that is true. If Fields is your last guy going on Monday night and you need 15 or 18 points, you might have a couple extra beverages that day, or whatever gets you less stressed. Maybe you'll eat a couple extra pretzels. I don't know what it is, but I will say yes, you're right. There's a little bit of stress inducing. Let's just hope for a Sunday at 12 o'clock, so you either don't have to watch the game or there's other games going on. You don't have to really watch specifically Fields, and you just all of a sudden look at the end of the day, he's got 18, and you're like, cool. That's all I can ask for a fill-in or a super flex situation. But I like Fields. Don't fret about this. Like let's see what happens. I'm actually really interested in this. This is the first time he's gotten a shot because since the Bears, at least, because the Steelers did not give him a shot. It was Russell's injured, and now he's healthy, and we're not going to ever put him back in.
Yeah, that was crazy. But they do have a good strength of schedule, and he's going at 100 overall, QB 13. You could do far worse than getting Fields on your team on there. So one more news tidbit that I unearthed today. Malik Neighbors dealing with a toe injury already. They said that they're not going to have surgery on it, but we don't know what it is. We know these toe injuries can be a real bitch. And plus, he has all new quarterbacks throwing him the ball this year. Not that I think that anyone from last year is better than anyone from this year, but it'd be nice to get that chemistry going because we know Malik Neighbors, if healthy, is going to get 180 targets again this year. So if he's doing that with a Russell Wilson, with a Jackson Dart, with a Jameis Winston, he's going to have a massive season. But if we're already missing chemistry time with some toe stuff, that's kind of weird. I hope it does not linger.
So they caveated that with this has been something he's been dealing with since college. So they're trying to say it's not a problem, but like if he's not playing, it's clearly a problem, even if it is just OTAs, because if, like you said, this is a new team, essentially. New quarterback at the helm at the very least, or several quarterbacks, however that works. So it's definitely worrisome. I'd be worried, especially a guy who's going in the first round, you know what I mean? Which hopefully at that point drops him down a little bit and maybe you get a steal, I would say if this is an issue that's lingering closer to, preseason, maybe he's not playing preseason for that reason, I could see his numbers to dip. And I think that's a great thing. And if you can get Neighbors in the second round or, even later, because I feel like, he's a first rounder, or at least in most people's rankings. There's a good chance you can get him in the second round. And I'm feeling a lot better about that, man. All of a sudden you've got a Neighbors and I don't know, AJ Brown or Jeanty or A-Chain, however you want to go.
So
dude,
I would take that all day.
A-Chain and Neighbors would be a great start to the draft. I know I was just saying I don't want A-Chain in the second round. Just the speed alone and the big plays. I actually just recently, the Giants fans are out there trying to flex on their team. Saw a lot of stuff out there about about how they're the best team overall in the division or something. And I was like, it reminded me of whenever I started victory lapping the Giants after they won the Super Bowl. It's just, it makes sense. And I couldn't even be mad at them because I already did that. So I was like, yeah, I get it. But I did see this clip of Neighbors just making, I think it was McCollum from the Eagles look like a fool. And it was just I think it was Drew Lock throwing on the ball, which is the even better part. But no, at the end of the day, Neighbors is good. little worry about his ADP at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just a toe injury, man. We've been doing this for a
Toes.
long time, and those toe injuries just bother. But the fact that he's been dealing with it since college, like, when do you get that operated on? When is it a good idea to
You
get that
fixed
fixed?
off season, considering you have 6 months off, like from at least playing. Like that would have been a good idea. I don't know. I don't know toe stuff as much as I should. I have a toe injury that's annoying, and I deal with it all the time. So yeah, remember that. It was a good time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hope we'll see. But speaking of ADPs, let's play a little thing called it's not called anything, but I'm going to do it just for Billy's sake because he loves naming segments. Let's call it this or that, and it's just talking about would you rather take this person or that person at their current ADPs. Now, some of these are going to be completely different ADPs. Some of them aren't. We're going to start off with one that's real close. So, would you rather take Ashton Jeanty at his current ADP, which is 15, or Christian McCaffrey at 19? Now this is of course going to come down to who you have as a draft pick, but let's just talk about like what we think would be the better play here. Now, I'm just going to start this off with, I always hate drafting rookies in the second round, unproven rookies, and that's early second round. So you're not even getting Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamar Chase on your team automatically. Those first two picks have to hit for you to be able to keep up with the Chases, the Barkleys, whoever the top three guys are in the league, and hopefully you end up with one of them on your team, which Jeanty could be, but so could Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
It's the major dilemma, and I can actually speak on this because I've had this decision in 2 drafts, and in one draft I took McCaffrey, and one I took Jeanty. I feel better about McCaffrey, man. I really do. I think everything we're hearing is he's fine, he's good, which, he had roughly an entire year off outside of 2 games, so he's older. We know what we know what to expect from Christian McCaffrey, and Shanahan gives his backs. He has bell cow backs. If you're starting, you are playing 100% of the time. We know what he can do receiving, rushing. I'm not worried about Christian McCaffrey in that regard. It is a little worrisome, but I like Christian McCaffrey better. Jeanty is an absolute stud. I'm not as cool with the Raiders offense, man. I think, the 49ers have a lot of problems too, but they're bringing back Purdy. Line's okay. We got Kittle in there. Ayuk's going to be out most of the season, but we have other people on this team that can really make an impact. The Raiders, man, your 2 best receivers are short, intermediate guys, right? So you're not really opening the field up for Jeanty the way that the 49ers can for McCaffrey. So I like McCaffrey better there. How about you?
Dude, I don't know. This is why I wanted to ask this question. So now we've seen the Saquons, the Zekes, the Bijans come in their rookie year and just have a complete baller year. Didn't really get that last year with Bucky. Was obviously great, but wasn't like the number 1 running back drafted. Obviously, Jonathan Brooks was and didn't work out so great. And we know what Jeanty is, right? Like we know what he's going to be, but this team is just such a shit show. Now, looking back, the team is actually very similar to what it was whenever Jacobs was drafted, in 2019, 2020. And that year he went for like 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, was like running back 25, something like that. I could see that happening with Jeanty. Now don't affect your dynasty ranking drafts. He should be number 1 overall. You know what you're getting here. Unless you're in an IDP situation, you love the Travis Hunter play. But at the end of the day, like, I'm worried about Jeanty for this year, at least. Like, I don't love it. Evening, Axton, appreciate you. Sorry, I just wanted to show that. It might have been a couple minutes ago. But yeah, I'm worried about Jeanty. I think it's McCaffrey. And I think McCaffrey, if you're getting him in the 19th, 20th, if everyone's just worried, I think he will go up boards at the end of the day. I think Jeanty and McCaffrey, and that's why I brought this up, because I think they're going to be picked around the same. Whether Jeanty slips or McCaffrey goes up, I think it's going to end up being that mid-second round. And I think you got to go McCaffrey, dude, because if he's playing, you're getting 20 points per game. And the good thing is about McCaffrey is if he isn't playing, you can go get Garendo or whoever the backup ends up being, or maybe you just draft all the San Francisco running backs on your team and figure it out. Like, because anyone who fills in that roster ends up being good, like Garendo and Mason and Elijah Mitchell, everyone who has done it. And years prior to that, like all the running backs who've done it, McKinnon and Mostert and the list goes on. So San Francisco's offense, which is going to be focused around him. I think it's McCaffrey, man, and it's weird and gross that we're even having that conversation. He was like the number one overall for the last 7 years, but I completely undervalued just because of the injury. Which, once again, sucks if you pick him and he gets injured. But that's when you start building your caveats, and you don't have to worry about the backup running back for San Francisco until the 9th, 10th round. And yes, some people will be like, that's wasting it or whatever. But it's like, nah, not really. You're insuring your pick. I love handcuffing personally.
Yeah, always handcuff if you
something
can.
like
That's definitely a good tip right there. But I guess it depends how risk adverse you are. I would say if you are, I tend to play riskier. CMC is the riskier pick. So if you're fine taking on the risk that, we could see again what happened last year, doubtful, but we could. I would take CMC. If you're less risk adverse and you want a more stable guy that has zero competition in that backfield, Jeanty is your guy. But based off of offenses and general skill sets, I do like McCaffrey for this year.
Yeah, and I was struggling to remember Jordan James, who was drafted there, but they did just ship out their other two backups. So Garendo is the clear-cut backup at the moment, at the very least. Like, Jordan James will probably have his day one day, you know what I mean? As we've seen with all the other running backs. But
every
you can
single
go
one
get
of them gets an
Garendo.
audition.
Dude, right? You have to. I mean, Garendo, I'm just going to scroll down the rankings and see if I can find him. And there's so many, like, split backfields. Running back 47. Like, that's Tyler Algier, Trey Benson, Austin Eckler, Rico Dowdle, Mason, Bigsby above him. Yes, we're starting to get into actual people. That's like 11th round, like 12th round, depending on how big your league is. Huh,
yeah.
Fun little thing.
No, don't hate that at all. All right, I got one for you. I was listening to a Roster Watch podcast the other day, and they brought this up, and it's just been kicking around my head here. So we have 4 running backs here. Chuba at ADP of 55, Kamara at ADP of 60, Connor at the ADP of 68, and David Montgomery at 70. Who do you want out of those guys?
Well, now I always want me some Montgomery. But with these guys here, now last year I won a championship because of James Conner. I hate it. It's the ugliest pick ever. Every year I'm just sitting here like, why does James Conner always do so well? And this could be the year that he gets taken over, but this could be the year that Kamara gets taken over. So it's tough for me, man. I think I go Monty by default because we know what he is. It's just it's a floor, and you're getting him in the 6th round, whatever it is. That's a perfect time to get a guy who's going to go out and get you 12, 15, 20 points. I mean, Monty and Gibbs can go out and get 20 points a game together. So fully healthy Montgomery, I mean, I feel like it's him. But, like, at the end of the day, like, Kamara is one of the same conversation as McCaffrey, because when Kamara's on, and if this team can figure out how to piece it together, it's tough. What are you thinking?
I don't know, man. I like your Monty take, but in general, and we'll talk about this later, Detroit's just kind of a little weary of it this year. Connor's awesome. I would definitely go Kamara. I mean, he just finished his top 5 running back last year. I think this entire offense, like, he is the offense here. All these other guys, you have a little bit to worry about. Chuba, like, I think he's going to get the majority of the work, but is Bryce, like, what we saw last year, is that real? Or was that just, kind of like, fuck it, I already lost my job, let's go throw? Like, he's going to be put in the same situation he was last year to start the season. Granted, he has a couple better weapons here, but James Conner, I mean, Kyler can run. You got Trey Benson kind of breathing down his neck. We do like Trey Benson on this podcast, and then Monty obviously has Gibbs. So I would go Kamara, and I just want to highlight these guys because they're going late. I mean, these are guys that I think are going to end up ultimately winning people leagues in this area just because of where they're at. Now, I'm sure name recognition alone will get Kamara up there, probably Monty. But everyone shits on David Montgomery every year, dude.
Everyone hates Montgomery. It's wild. But James Conner, too. I mean, to be fair, we never know when the end is for James Conner, and it could be tomorrow for all we know. But I think you're right about Kamara, dude. I was thinking about James Conner. Could be done tomorrow. Kamara, on the other hand, has not shown any signs of slowing down. I mean, he's got the pass catching. Like, it'd be different if he was like only a solely running back, but he's the pass catching guy. And now I am worried about Devin Neal. I think that will be a thing, but they're very committed to Kendre Miller. And I think they give him, like, it's Kamara and Kendre Miller to start. Devin Neal works in here and there. Maybe it's a fill-in if an injury happens. Eventually it'll be Devin Neal as the backup. But Kamara is still the pass-catching back. So I think you're right, dude, especially in PPR. And this is the same conversation we had about Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford. The older veterans just immediately get forgotten because we got Jeanty in the second round. He's never played a game. Which speaking of, let's scroll back to Axton, who says Vegas is going to surprise this year, but McCaffrey does have the same upside at a cheaper cost. I'm with y'all. I mean, I get it. Plenty of time to heal. He's got to play. But sorry, I did miss that. But yeah, man, Kamara as a guy, and you can get in the 5th round and have as your running back too. If you go 0 RB, if you go RB heavy, you got him as a 3rd as a pass catching back. It's tough, man. I love Monty for the floor. I love Kamara for the ceiling, and I like Devin Neal a lot. But it's gonna be hard for me to pass on Kamara at that spot, especially. Like, I love these veterans going. Like Tyreek Hill's another guy that we haven't really mentioned. Like, he's going in the 3rd round now. Yeah, late third.
Yeah.
Like, and that is just wild because it's like, it's Tyreek Hill, man. Like, yes, it hasn't been great the last couple of years, but this man can still burn, dude. Like,
yeah.
And let's just say Miami gets hot and Tua figures doesn't get hit at all ever. Could be fun.
They did tear down their entire line, so we'll see how that works. But I do like me some Tyreek Hill this year too. Yeah, I just think it's cool because like you could start your draft off with a RB in the 1st round. You could fill out your entire wide receiver room and then grab Kamara. And I think you're cooking at that point.
All right, let's say you got number 1 overall. You go Jamar Chase. You come back at the 24th pick. You go get JSN and Drake London, something like that. T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin, pick your poison. And then you start burning running backs at 48. You could get Ken Walker, David Montgomery, James Conner, Judkins, Travion Henderson, which does actually bring me to my next point.
Yeah.
Judkins and Henderson. So we have them really closely ranked. We both have our favorites on that, which I think we align on. But going to other people's rankings, Judkins, I believe, has the higher rate. Nope, 82. We have him way higher than everyone else. And Travion Henderson at 69. Now, these are 2 running backs who got drafted high up in the draft. Judkins, who is the clear new Nick Chubb, and Travion, who is, I guess, going to usurp Stevenson. Who of those 2 are you taking higher?
So for redraft purposes, I think it's got to be Judkins. I love Travion. In Dynasty, Travion is my dude 100%. I just don't. Ramondre is still going to be part of this equation.
That contract kills me.
Yeah, he's making too much money. They're going to at least run him like straight into the wall a couple times, which is going to lose Travion some carries. I love the talent of Travion, but I mean, Judkins, honestly, especially with the state of this quarterback position, they're going to have to run the football. It doesn't matter who is back there. They're going to have to run the football. And Judkins is set up for a ton of touches in this. I mean, 20 carries a game is not outside of the realm of possibilities.
I think Judkins is the number 1 rookie running back this year. Clearly. Clear cut. Yeah. I just don't see any way. Jeanty, obviously. I don't see any way Travion, who's picked 13 picks ahead of him, is going to do anything of what Judkins can do, who can be involved in the running and pass game. I know he wasn't super pass heavy, but that doesn't mean his team won't dump off a lot, and Judkins might just already be on the field. I think he's going to end up being a 3-down back, or at least close to it. Maybe they do drive by drive, but I think he's going to be a bulldozer. And the Travion pick, I love Travion, and obviously being on the same team in college, this is great that we're talking about it. I just feel like Travion, yes, he did it with Judkins there, but this isn't college. And I think everyone's thinking like Travion already did it with some competition. But Stevenson's going to be the bulldozer, and then Travion's going to he's going to end up with Kamara-like passing numbers, but he's not going to have those rushing numbers, I don't think. And maybe there is hope. Like, to me, it's like they paid Stevenson for the next 3 years, or at least 2, I think, if the contract breaks down weirdly. But like Travion I actually passed on Travion in a couple rookie drafts or dynasty drafts, because I'm like, I don't want to wait, man. I need someone now. Got Judkins in one, and I got Caleb in another. Actually, I don't know if I got Caleb over Travion on that one, but anyway.
No, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, I love Travion. In Dynasty, he is my guy 100% of the way, but we'll see. I mean, he's good at pass pro, so maybe he does just take over and we see like a 60-40 with Ramondre right off the bat, but you're still giving Ramondre 40% of those carries. If we're looking at Judkins, I mean, Samson is a really cool player. I liked him a lot coming out, but he's not the type.
He's kind of the same guy, too. I feel like that's the problem. Having a little technical difficulties with Joe. So it's just the Josh pod now, and I apologize for everyone. Joe will be back momentarily, but it's actually pretty quick, Joe. I don't know how you got back so fast.
I'm back, dude.
Dude,
I got that crappy internet, man.
I was gonna free ball for like 3 minutes. That's all I got in me. So I'm really glad you're back. But I think you're absolutely right. I think there's a chance that Travion does, because last year that was the problem with Stevenson, is he wasn't on the field enough because they kept Gibson in and they were passing the whole time, which I don't understand, because like they gave up on the run game way too early for a team
line
that
was so bad.
It was.
They were doing everything possible to get the ball out of his hands.
I'm not trying to hate on Travion. I'm just worried about the workload. And I think it'll be great for both of them. I just think that, honestly, both of them might be unusable, at least for the start of the year. Maybe it shakes out differently at the end of the year and it works out. But seeing him 13 picks ahead of him is just wild. And looking at our rankings where they're like right next to each other, which I think is probably more accurate. All right, let's get off. Let's get off the
Judkins
position
volume,
players.
man.
Yeah, no, volume for sure. Let's get off the position players. Let's do some lame stuff where we talk about quarterbacks and tight ends. Now there's a huge jump, at least in our rankings, from the next quarterback rung. And of course we have the Jalen Hurts, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, yada yada. Of course, Jaden Daniels after his year last year. Then we have Joe Burrow in this weird like cliffhanger area where he's like the start of the next tier. I'd be interested to see how these tiers break out. I guess Jalen's probably in the same tier. He's a few picks ahead. So we got Joe Burrow at 49, and then we have Baker Mayfield at 60. So there's a good chunk in between there, 11 picks. I think quarterbacks are interesting because they go. It's kind of like, if quarterbacks are being taken, sometimes you'll see a quarterback run, or tight end, same concept. But this isn't a weird split because there's still good quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is still on the board, who's probably going to be picked in between these guys, I imagine. And then, we get on to the lower guys. Caleb Williams, not Johnson. Caleb Williams will be probably one of those like sleeper quarterback picks. But who would you rather take? Would you rather take Joe Burrow at 49, or would you rather take Baker Mayfield, wait another round, get him at 60, maybe even a round and a half? Both kind of in the same boat. Like, obviously, Burrow with a bit more of explosive weapons, but both have great passing offenses. But who would you rather take this year?
Man, so I hate taking quarterbacks before like the 6th round. That's kind of my cutoff. I mean, unless I can get an Allen or Lamar at a value, I try to stay away from it. But it's hard to deny what Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow I think he had the 20th most pass attempts all time last year at 652. And it's probably going to be more this year because they gutted that defense even more. So
right.
I think it's got to be Joe Burrow, who honestly you can make the argument for QB1 overall for him. I mean, obviously ADP's never going to catch up to that, but I think this year if Burrow's sitting there, especially at 49, I'll probably take that shot at QB5, because if you could stack him with a Higgins or Chase, get Joe Burrow. I'm not a huge stacker in redraft, but he's going to throw the ball so much that you could win games just with the two of those guys. If you get Chase and Burrow, be unreal.
Yeah, and this is non-super flex. I probably should have mentioned that. I'm really bad about that. But okay, so Josh Allen and Lamar are basically going 2nd, 3rd round, no matter what. And then you've got Jaden Daniels going shortly after in the 3rd round, later in the 3rd round, and then Jalen in the 4th-ish. And then Burrow in the 5th. Now this is just rankings, obviously, but at this current ADP, I think like obviously I love Burrow. I'm gonna end up keeping him in a league because we're doing can't keep out of the top 30. I think I'm going Baker, dude. Like I know that Burrow is great and what he did was ridiculous, and he's gonna be throwing the whole season. But I'm more worried that this is more of a house of cards than we admit it. Like Jamar Chase stayed healthy last year; it was amazing. But if he doesn't, what happens? Immediately takes Joe Burrow's value. Like there's no like, they still have T. Higgins. He's a wide receiver 1. I really don't like. Yes, he is, but he's not Jamar Chase, and it's not the same numbers. Like Jamar Chase was clearly the number 1 person in fantasy last year. We all know that, even with Saquon having the year that he had. it's just like, to me, it's all the weapons for the Bucks, and I feel like Baker has proven, and I feel like it's one of those things that's so weird to say I would take Baker Mayfield over Joe Burrow, something I would not have said last year. But QB4 overall, Burrow was like I think Burrow was number 3. I gotta double check though.
That sounds right.
I can't type. Well, because you got the rushing upside of these other guys. Yeah, number 3. So number 3, number 4. I mean, it's wild to me that, in my opinion, like I know this is a bad time to say it, but like, and it's not because I dislike the team. I've always been a Commanders fan. I'm worried about Jaden Daniels being picked that high.
Yeah.
Third QB off the board in the second to third round. Someone's going to grab him way too early, and it's not even that he's not good. He's great. What if he's not, though? What if they have a regression?
I mean, we just saw it with Stroud, right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, Stroud is nobody now, and if you had him 2 years ago, you were on top of the world because you thought you had the best quarterback. I mean, I think Jaden Daniels will be fine this year. But
put
it's
on some
not out
weight.
of the realm
Another
of
news
possible.
story. Well, and the thing is he finished QB5 last year. He played every game, and we're taking him as QB3 automatically. The team didn't get any better. Yeah, you got Debo. Sure. A washed-up Debo. Sure, maybe he's still good. Maybe he's got something. Terry McLaurin's still the same guy. Your running back room didn't change. Maybe you got some offensive line. I don't even honestly really remember what you guys did in the draft. You didn't do anything with the tight end. You added Debo. That's literally the only change to this offense, maybe other than offensive line. I'm not looking at the team makeup at the moment. I feel like we're looking at the same thing. Like, and it could be fun. Maybe he progresses, but to take him in the third round, as you said, I hate drafting quarterbacks early. Last year, I grabbed Jaden Daniels as the 13th quarterback off the board because someone grabbed a backup. 2 guys grabbed a backup before I got Jaden Daniels. That was amazing. Loved that then. Hate it now. Third is just too egregious for me. It was the same thing with Patrick Mahomes being drafted in the second round and Travis Kelce being drafted in the second round. Could never get behind that. Like, it's just not me.
No, it's wild, man. And I mean, we're looking at ECR, ADP right now. So we're dealing with industry folks that are ranking this stuff right now. But you're looking at, Kyler's sitting there at 75. You got Bo Nix at 76. Jared Goff, a little worried about him. Caleb at 98. Justin Fields at 100. Brock Purdy at 101. Dak Prescott at 105. So when you're in your drafts, your guy's going to be sitting there and he's going to be looking at his roster and he's going to be like, oh shit, I don't have a quarterback. And he's going to jump down 20, 30 ADP slots. And he's going to be like, oh, this guy's the next guy, and cross it out. So you're going to see these quarterbacks go a lot earlier than you're seeing an ADP right now. But
I think the 6th, 7th round is where like the QB jump happens, where like you'll see Joe Burrow, Baker. I think Joe Burrow and Baker will be picked around the same time.
Baker's going early this year, though.
Yeah. Mahomes will also.
I thought we were going to get a little bit of a bump for Baker. I thought we were going to get a little bit of a discount on Baker this year. I wrote it down on my 2024 thoughts notebook, and they are on him.
Dude, I'm like so about waiting on quarterbacks this year, all around. As we talked about Fields in the beginning of the pod, cool with getting him as a combo. Like Fields going against a team that has bad defense all day. Play him. Figure it out. Justin Herbert just got a new offensive weapon. Jared Goff, one of the new Matt Stafford, man. Like, I mean, it's not pretty all the time. There's some run stealing there. I think you actually have Matt Stafford, the 20th quarterback off the board. Like, Caleb is not even a QB1.
Lawrence at 115. I mean,
yeah, I'll go grab the Caleb Williams and Justin Herbert and combo that and just be one of the last guys to take a quarterback. Even if I'm the guy who someone gets a backup before me, I'll still be happy with Caleb and Brock or Jordan Love. Like, there's so many guys who have offensive weapons that can go out there and play and put together a roster. Now, it's great to have a Josh Allen. It's great to have Jalen Hurts, who's getting the tush pushes still, 15 touchdowns guaranteed pretty much a season. But at the end of the day, I just can't do it for the 3rd or 4th or 5th. It's really like the 4th round where I'm like, all right, I have 2 running backs and a wide receiver, and I know what I'm going to do later for wide receivers or running backs or whatever it is, All right, anyway, let's do the same thing with tight ends because there's also a drop-off here. Now, would you rather have Mr. George Kittle, which I'm looking for him, at 41, or I guess, actually, I originally had Sam LaPorta, but Fantasy Pros has Hockenson at the exact same spot as LaPorta. 55 and 56 for Hockenson, LaPorta, and George Kittle at 41. What are you taking here? Is this
George
tier
Kittle.
jump? Okay. This tier jump's not a problem for you.
No. I love the teardrop. I don't know, man. Hockenson, I love him. I don't know what this McCarthy thing's going to look like. And then LaPorta, I'm worried about Ben Johnson not being there, man. I don't think it's just going to be like a continuation of what we've seen in the past. Now, it very well could be. I think there's going to be a couple of speed bumps here. I love George Kittle because, as Billy pointed out last week, I mean, he is going to get all the work. He could very easily have the most targets he has had. I mean, I think it was 2018 or 2019, he had 136 targets. They just let 124 of those targets walk this year, and Brandon Ayuk's out until December at the earliest. So, yeah, give me Kittle all day. I love it.
Yeah, so I wanted to do QB first because I feel like the tier drop is not as prominent at the tier 2 to tier 3, but this is tier 1. This is the end of tier 1, and he's actually discounted currently. Like I think that people don't realize that Ayuk is probably not going to play for a while this year, and then everyone's just assuming Juwan Jennings will pick up where he left off. Everyone thinks Ricky Pearsall will end up being what we all thought he might be. But at the end of the day, Kittle is wide receiver 1 on this team. This is the new Travis Kelce, as if he hasn't been doing it alongside Travis Kelce this whole time. I've always been a huge Kelce fan, or Kittle fan. Kelce as well, obviously. But huge Kittle fan. And what he did last year, honestly, carried the team. The team was terrible last year. He had one of the best seasons of his career. 2 years in a row of 1,000 yards. 4 years as a top 5 tight end. And the only reason in between that, 2 more on the back end was because he got injured in 2020. Like literally just consistency is one of the biggest keys, especially for tight end, which we used to think was like a deep position. Or like we got Mark Andrews, we got some guys like some old resurgence like Jonnu Smith and who's the Cincinnati guy? Mike Gesicki. We got these new rookies. We got Jake Ferguson, Tucker Kraft, the kind of younger guys who are still playing. Kincaid, who we thought was going to be really good at some point. Like we really thought this tight end. We thought the tight end wasn't a problem last year. I think it is this year.
Yeah,
and I
mean, 2024 kicked us right in the dick, dude, with tight ends.
Yep.
It was like, no, you get 3 good guys. That's all it is. But no,
Kyle Pitts isn't even in the top 10 anymore. Like he's straight up at 20 now.
No, you're absolutely right, though. I mean, Kittle, he's always been extremely efficient. You know, he hasn't had the Sam LaPorta 120 targets or the Travis Kelce level of targets, but he's been efficient with what he gets. Now he is going to get those targets. This could be his magnum opus for his career in 2025. So get George Kittle. I think
it's tight end 1. Yeah. Tight end 1 in the 3rd round, 4th round. Like, I think it's worth it, actually.
I don't hate that call, man.
I don't usually buy it, but at the end of the day, like if you end up with an early tight end or a late tight end for that matter, go grab you a Colston Loveland and a Tyler Warren. You know what I mean? Or a Tyler Warren, I should say. You're not getting both. You're not getting 3 tight ends on your team. But like, go grab you a backup tight end who has promise as well. Like, and those guys are going late at the moment. I mean, you're going to be fighting the dregs of tight ends. People might grab them in the top 12 starting tight end situation, but talk about handcuffs,
man. If you get Kittle and Freiermuth, I think you killed it. Or Kittle and Hunter Henry. I mean, you killed it. And those guys are going 140s. So you're looking at,
and 11th. We talked about last week, Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
Look at Zach Ertz too. Like veteran guy who's just treated like a discarded guy. Like everybody gave up on Zach Ertz, who I have to remind everybody was doing this all with Kittle and Kelce this whole time. And it's like, it's so wild to me that people are like, nah, he's done. He's old. And then like Kelsey's literally like 3 years older than him. But all right. Probably not
that group thing,
Cool. Well, that's all I have for that. I mean, there's some other ones we could go through, but man, I'm just so excited we got our rankings done, and it's just fun looking at our rankings and others' rankings and just seeing how crazy different we are.
We are pretty wildly off on some players, but I love it. I got one for you real quick.
Oh, okay,
I want to talk about these wide receivers, man. When you get to like pick 50 down to like pick 70, the wide receivers are tough. There is no like this guy is it. So we got Chris Olave 51, DK Metcalf at 52, Jalen Waddle is going at 57 for some reason. Explain that one to me. Jerry Jeudy at 58.
Because wait, time out. Back to Jalen Waddle. Too high or too low?
Too high.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I feel like that's just about right. I thought you were going to say too low for a second. I was like, I can't agree with you. I feel like 57 is about right because there's hope and promise that he could do something, but he clearly won't.
No, he had the injuries, but Johnny Smith came in and just was like, "Sit down." Like
He's the new slot receiver.
until Hill is off of that team, in my opinion, Jalen Waddle's dead. I'm not.
When Hill was out, Waddle wasn't doing it. It's been just a sad last year was obviously a little rough, but like you say, injuries. He's missed like 4 games in 4 years.
Well, he had some of that soft tissue nonsense. I think he played through it last year, but
that's true.
But then you're sitting here, you look at these guys, and then you got Tet sitting at 65. Who are you going with here? So I know who I'm
of those guys.
Yeah, Olave, Metcalf, Waddle, Judy, and Tet, all going above 65.
Man, I know your answer, and I'm gonna go a little different than you. It's definitely not Waddle. I'm gonna go with DK Metcalf. I understand and honestly, he might be a little too high, but being the only wide receiver on the team, we've never actually seen DK be the true alpha, and seeing him be consistent as can be, like he's Mike Evans light, dude. Like he could have had 1,000 yards each season. He had 900, 967, 992, 3 of his seasons, and that's 6 years in a row. And that's with Lockett being good. That's with JSN this last year. Like he's taking dips, but he's consistent, and also being a jump ball receiver. Now the caveat here is we have no idea who the quarterback's going to be, but I don't think it really matters. He played with Geno. He played with aged out Russ. He played with he would have been playing with Sam Darnold if he was still there. Like he's played with some pretty rough quarterbacks. Was Drew Lock starting at one point too there? It was a rough time for him. So he still went out there and got 1,000 yards. I think it's just consistency for me. Like I'm taking DK, but let me hear your take. I'm wondering who you want.
Oh no, you're good. I'm totally okay. So when they traded Pickens, I instantly became happier about DK, but he was going in the spot with Pickens, and I was like, bro, who is going to throw the ball to these guys? Like it's ridiculous. So I'm a little bit warmer on Metcalf now, but I think I would go Tet personally and take the discount because you're walking right into 8 targets a game at least for Tet McMillan. I mean, that defense still has some work to do, and they just drafted him top 10, number 8. He is going to get a lot of passes thrown at him, and he's the biggest receiver they got. I mean, what else are you going to do? Throw it to Tet.
As my real estate agent said to me 2 times while buying houses, you're walking into equity. You're walking into equity with Tet McMillan. Sorry, I know you don't know.
I like that though.
You're walking into equity buying this house, buying in on Tet. I do agree, and I'm going to try to get Metcalf and Tet if I'm being completely honest. But if you're talking about current ADP, yeah, because I'm usually a running back heavy guy. Like I like to get my studs. Like I want to go get a Saquon, Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor type guy who I know is going to be that workload heavy guy. And then I want to go get a pass catching guy, like maybe a Kamara, and then maybe something in between there and go get, I don't even know, maybe it's a James Conner even. I don't know. I want to have 3 running backs who I can rely on. And then I want to get one to 2 wide receivers to fill out my roster. And then I want to just fill wide receivers. And then I want to go take chances on rookie running backs. That's pretty much my draft strategy every year. You've been in enough leagues to me. You probably know that. But no, Tet is an absolute. It's a gamble, but I don't think it's a heavy gamble. Like you're talking gambles for rookies. We're talking Jeanty in the 2nd round, and we're talking Tet, who's arguably the best wide receiver in this draft. We didn't really know about Travis Hunter in the 7th. It's a steal, dude. You've already filled out your roster. You could have literally a full roster. People like to draft where they get their 2 running backs, their 2 wide receivers, their flex, their tight end, their quarterback. You could have all of that, and then go get Tet for your bench.
Yeah. No, it's literally the perfect spot for me. And, we kind of draft similarly. I think, this year would be a good year to get you a running back early, load up on 2 or 3 wide receivers, grab one of those veteran running backs we were talking about earlier, and then take a guy like Tet just to round everything out. And I think you're set. I really do. And I mean, I'll revise that. I think you got to go tight end earlier this year than normal.
Yeah, you got to get yourself one of them top 3 guys. Trey McBride, Brock Bowers would be fun, but I just don't know if I can afford that price tag. But yeah, that Kittle price tag, that's gonna be fun to see who gets Kittle in our league, especially if Billy listens to this pod. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, Completely agree. Especially those wide receivers in that first round are looking really good, dude. Like, and then I don't want to say drop off because second round you're looking at AJ Brown, Drake London, but that's if you have the back half, and that's kind of the meh. But if you end up with like a first pick or top 5 pick, you're going to getting Jamar, Jefferson, Lamb, Bijan, or Saquon. Essentially, I mean that's pretty much everyone's top 5. And let's say you get Bijan or you get Saquon, and then you come back and you're looking at your top wide receiver being Tyreek Hill, Jackson Smith, Lad McConkey. That just doesn't feel as great as Puka or Amon-Ra or Jamar. Like, and then you start dropping down, and you're like, well, there's T. Higgins, wide receiver 2. Yeah, Mike Evans, one of 16 wide receivers. Terry McLaurin, I will say, was pretty good example in the third round. But like, you don't feel as good about getting Lad McConkey. That dude, I am not drafting Lad McConkey. I just want to go ahead and make that.
He's white.
Like, especially, it's not because he's white. It's because he's in the middle second round, and they just drafted Trey Harris. And like, my stock in Trey Harris, but at the end of the day, like, I don't believe, man. And I mean, Brian Thomas too. For that argument, like, I'm not drafting Brian Thomas. Yeah. Like, at the 10th pick. Like, I would hope so, but like, what if Travis Hunter is better than him or just equal and they just split it completely?
Which is completely possible.
I don't trust Lawrence to throw to both of those guys evenly or like to focus on one of them. Like, I'm going to go get Travis Hunter probably just for fun in like whatever the 8th, 9th round and hope that I chose right, because that way I know I at least got Puka or Jahmyr Gibbs or someone who I know is like a stud and not someone who's about to just secede targets.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
no, I'm with you, man. I think Brian, I'm not too worried about Brian Thomas, but it's more because like Nico, Drake London, the guys behind him make me higher on him than I actually am on him, if you will.
Yeah. I love McLaurin in the 3rd at that point. Like, I feel like Brian Thomas should be in the 2nd, in my opinion. And same, Lad McConkey should be lower 2nd. Like, obviously what he did was amazing last year, nothing short, but there was no one to target. They got rid of Evan Ingram even at the time. Like, there was no one else to throw to. And it was just fun. Like, it was very Neighbors situation. Not as worried about Neighbors, so I don't think there's much competition. But anyway, you know what? We're gonna do something different. We don't get to do this anymore. Remember our pods back in the day where we used to just talk about our teams? For like, I think Billy gave us a minute, and Billy had a team that he cursed or something. I don't even remember. Well, I'm not gonna give you a time limit, but I just want to hear, like, maybe I can go first just because I got a thought about this, and that's kind of why I'm bringing it up. But like, what is like the common misconception about your team? Like, I know you're a Bears fan. People should know that I'm an Eagles fan. If you haven't yet, turn on YouTube. You'll figure it out. A lot of flying birds behind me. You want me to go first? You got this.
You go first.
All right, I'll go first.
Let's go with the happy one first.
Yeah, well, it's not even happy. It's actually just funny. So the Eagles won the Super Bowl, clearly. We all know that. Saquon Barkley was a huge addition to the team. Obviously, we know that. This tush-push ban, everyone has, and it's not everyone, just, Twitter goes a little crazy whenever something's happening in the NFL. I think people actually only think the Eagles are good because of the tush-push. And I think they think maybe it's the NFL, maybe it's all the fans, maybe it's the other teams that were jealous that they have this amazing play that works, which has never, at least in my knowledge, and if it has, please send it to me. I'd love to see it. I don't think it's ever injured a single player, especially on the Eagles doing it. Like, I've never once seen someone go, oh, Jalen's not getting up. Now, when they first started doing it, especially after watching Carson Wentz go down years ago from a running play, I was terrified. Jalen Hurts clearly knows how to fall. Everyone knows how to fall. It's just a big body pile. No one's twisting. No one's hurting anyone. Anyway, but I think everyone thinks that the Eagles wouldn't have won the Super Bowl without the tush push. And ironically enough, they barely even did it in the playoffs. They beat teams with Saquon. They beat teams with big plays, with Devontae hitting a big one, AJ hitting a big one, Goddard getting one over the middle. Now the tush push gets 1 yard, which is super helpful. But just to clarify, you got to get the other 9 yards first for that play to even count. So, like, therefore, if you stop them and don't let them get 9 yards, that play never exists. So you have 3 plays to either sack Hurts, get an interception, get the ball out or whatever, or just not let them get 9 yards. Because they never once ran it from the 2-yard line, from 2 yards out, unless it was third down and they could go for it on fourth and it made sense. But that play is just, it's so weirdly ingrained in the DNA now. It's like the Philly special. Like but it's more like everybody uses the tush push verbiage, and like we call it brotherly shove. It's a little bit less stupid. But at the end of the day, like that play didn't change the Eagles' complexion. Now, is it nice to have to get an easy touchdown? But you forget that Saquon could have just got that. Like he could have gotten 1 yard on 2 or 3 carries. Like just had to get that out, because I feel like everyone thinks that the Eagles are, oh, they have this tush push because it's our patented play or whatever. It's like that's the only reason they're good. The team's just great, dude. Y'all let this happen. Like y'all let us get AJ Brown. Y'all let them get Saquon in free agency. It's just
Jalen Carter.
Defense, not to mention.
You had Campbell. No, the defense is really what sets you guys apart, and I don't think that a lot of people understand that. But you guys are rushing 4 against Kansas City and winning pretty much every time in the Super Bowl. So I mean that's wild in itself. But
blitz.
I mean the tush push, man. They could probably start running that from 5 yards out and be straight. I mean, there's not a lot of times that people are. I mean, Frankie Louvu tried to stop it, but we saw how that was
hilarious too. By the way, that whole situation was just great. Like, I mean, and I get it. Like, I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, we can't stop him. He's just too strong. But it's at the end of the day, it's like being like, oh, well, Jerome Bettis cannot run a halfback dive at the goal line. That's not allowed anymore. Like, I understand it's about the pushing mechanism of it or whatever, yada yada. But like, that would be like saying Jerome Bettis just can't run it from the 1 yard line anymore because he's unstoppable. Like, so because your team can't do it, and because this team does it well, it needs to be banned, which I do believe it will be banned next year, the way that this vote's been going and the word came out that Goodell was actually the one who wants it banned. So I think he'll actually just make the ban himself next year.
Yeah. I mean, because it's positive yardage every time. It's crazy.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think we've been there's been a couple times where they've been shut out, but other teams fail at it. That's hilarious, which I don't understand how Josh Allen fails at it against the Chiefs in the AFC, or was it the Ravens? It was the Ravens, or was it the AFC Championship? I don't know. One of the games. Josh Allen failed at it like 2 times and lost the game essentially. I think it was against the Ravens because they didn't make it to the championship.
It's funny because he gets it on the QB rush every time, but
he can do it on a draw, but he can't do it on that, which is hilarious. But he's a big dude. I mean, Jalen Hurts is just good, is what it comes down to. Like, I guess that's really my main point here.
Yeah. No,
something about the Bears. Totally I'm sorry, I could rant about the Eagles forever. It's just the whole tush push vote thing pissed me off.
No, it pissed me off too, man. Bears, dude, it's a really fun time to be a Chicago Bears fan. We actually went out and got the best head coaching candidate, which is something the Bears have never done. We've been discount shopping forever. And we went and we got Ben Johnson. Yeah. So we got Ben Johnson, man. It's really fired up. We went out, we signed Thuney, Jackson, and Dahlman for the interior of the line. All of those dudes are studs at run blocking and will help Caleb out a ton in pass block. We draft Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. This offense, the players, the pieces that we have to work with are absolutely stacked up. We bring in Deo on the defense to help Sweat. We'll see how that works out. We padded the inside. Yeah. We got Grady Jarrett, who was a hell of a pickup. Defensive line, linebackers. Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
No, man. But I just want to say, like, stop worrying about the Bears, but also worry about the Bears. I mean, from a fantasy perspective, DJ Moore, everyone's, kind of worried about him not getting. We don't know how it's going to shake out with all these offensive pieces. DJ Moore is the guy. DeAndre Swift was the most run stuff running back. So was Roshan, for that matter, because our line sucks so bad. And we fixed that line. And then you got Caleb, who was running for his life half the time. And I think he was top 7 in pass attempts last year. Hopefully we can get that down a little bit and stop making him have to try to hero ball the game. But the Bears offense is going to be fine. Keenan Allen had 126 targets. He's gone. He's not there anymore. So Rome got 100, and there's 126 more. I think we're going to try to feature Rome. He was a top 10 pick last year. So he'll be okay. Loveland, Burden, I think we're going to split a little bit starting off here. And Kmet's still going to get his. But I think you're looking at Rome, you're looking at DJ Moore, you're looking at Swift. And then honestly, Roshan Johnson, guys, I don't know. I'm actually pretty high on him. I think he could get a fair amount of run in this offense because we know Ben Johnson wants to run this football. So I'm really high on all the Bears players, and I'm seeing a lot of people freaking out about it, which I totally understand. But also, I've been a Bears fan for a long time, so don't buy into the hype. And I just want to warn all the Bears fans, like, we won the offseason last year too, and look what that got us. So just don't get ahead of yourself as a fan, but as a fantasy player, stop freaking out about the Bears. They'll be just fine.
Dude, as long as Vince Young doesn't come out and say this is the dream team, I'm excited about this team. No, the biggest piece, like, yes, you guys killed the draft. That's awesome. Love that for you guys. I don't think it matters this year. Like, I mean, yes, it matters depth, right? Like, but I don't think Luther Burden steps in and was wide receiver 1 on the team. I don't think Loveland even cracks half of the targets, maybe half of the targets that Kmet gets. There's a chance that both of those guys go off and just have great years. But I'm not trying to draft those guys, maybe just because they're cheap, but like I'm not like targeting them specifically. I'm like, Burden's still there. Yeah, whatever. Let's take a gamble. It's not I think this is gonna happen. I think you're right about Rome, dude. Like Rome and Keenan, when I saw them on the field together, they looked like exactly the same guy. And then every time Williams would throw it to Keenan, I always thought it was Rome. Every single time. And I'm like, wait, that's Keenan Allen. Like, of course he's throwing to Keenan Allen. I get it. But I think you're right about Rome. I think all of us have been undervaluing Rome, except for in the dynasty community. I know we haven't been. Nobody's been underdoubting. But no, the biggest thing altogether is the offensive line. What they did, and I don't know if it works this year. Like, right? Like these are great players, but like, do they gel as a unit? Half these guys have never played together. Actually, all of these guys haven't played together. I guess your tackles have. But man, what a great job of going and rebuilding this offensive line, which everyone, including Bears fans, and like, how often is it that you know what your team's weakness is going into the draft or going into the offseason and saying, they're not going to fix it. They're not going to fix it. We need an edge rusher, or we need an offensive line. And they're not going to do anything about it. These dudes did everything right. And then not to mention, on top of it, went and got some more offensive prospects to go get some targets and have some depth, dude. Like, okay, so we talk about the top 3 often, right? I didn't actually even realize this. And some of these guys are just fine, right? But like, your 4th guy is Zacchaeus. And then you got Tyler Scott, who's been on the team for a few years. And you got Devin Duvernay. Those are 4th, 5th, and 6th wide receivers. Those are wide receiver 3s on other teams. You put any of those guys on the New England Patriots, they're wide receiver 2, barring what happens with Stephon Diggs' cocaine incident. Like, dude, just wild to me, like how good this team is. And now I'd be worried because like there's a lot of hype going in. I've seen this happen before. You build the perfect team, but like I'm not worried because you want to know why? All of these people are coming back next year. Every single one of them. I mean, maybe I don't know about your Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright's contracts, but other than that, every single one of the offensive starters is coming back next year.
Yeah,
how cool is that? Like
it's awesome, man.
There's a future of the Chicago Bears. Like how, dude, I'm stoked for
Kelvin
you.
Warren taking over as president was unreal. He was like, listen, we're actually going to act like a football team and we're going to do what we need to do. We spent in free agency, which we've done the last couple of years, but we spent smartly. And then we got the best head coach, no discounts. It's not the Chicago Bears that I'm used to seeing because the last 2 years have been totally new. So let's see what happens.
All right. Fun fact. I did not plan for this. I didn't really plan for any of this, but I'm going to tell you what your team's biggest weakness is, and you're going to tell me what my team's biggest weakness is.
Okay.
Your biggest weakness is, what if Caleb Williams just isn't that great? Now, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that's your biggest weakness. What if Caleb Williams has all these targets and all this time, and it just turns out he can't make the read, or he can't make the throw, or just isn't as good as we all thought he was? Now, once again, I do not believe that. I think he'd be great, but like, that's your biggest what if right now. Like, the defense probably is up there to be the number 2, just to, there's some missing holes. There's great players, but like, missing holes. But like, I would say the biggest weaknesses, or biggest question mark, I guess would be the better statement, is what if Caleb Williams just is Trevor Lawrence or something, like same concept, like, and just has the targets around him. Not to bring you down, man. It's tough. We just brought you all up.
You just brought me way down, man. I got to drink some whiskey after that one.
Good news is you haven't bought the jersey yet, so that's good.
I did buy the jersey.
You already have the jersey?
Yeah. I bought it at the Hall of Fame right after the Kings Classic draft. I was like,
right, I wasn't there. Stupid babies.
Yeah.
All right, let me have it. What's the Eagles' biggest weakness?
It scares me to hear you say that, but I do agree with you. do the Eagles have a weakness, dude? I mean, completely honestly, your pass rush scares me because Ojulari was ass against the run. He was great against the pass, but I think having Carter and Jordan Davis there will help him out a lot in that. But the pass rush after losing Josh Sweat does scare me a little bit. We'll see if Nolan Smith and Ojulari
now,
can pop
that's
up
actually there. Now I thought they would do a little bit more. The white gorilla, vanilla gorilla. Love that about him. I think he's going to be a great, he's going to be Milton Williams' replacement, right? Which played edge rusher, but is a defensive tackle. I think he just slots right in at edge. So now, while I agree with you, I think that's probably our biggest weakness. Like if you looked at the depth chart, I think the biggest weakness actually is wide receiver depth.
Yeah.
We don't have any. I mean, they went out and got Terrace Marshall. We don't know what Johnny Williams is or Anaya Smith. It's A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith at the end of the day. Dotson's there, sure, and he's good for one catch that will be really important, but at the end of the day, won't even be a touchdown. If Devontae or A.J. goes down, I said last year that if one of the top four went down, we're fucked. This year, I don't believe that. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, there's no replacing Saquon, but the combination of A.J. Dillon, Will Shipley makes me feel a little bit better about it. But if Kenny Gainwell was running back one on that team, Jesus Christ, no way we win the Super Bowl. But just take out A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. Last year, the weeks, 2 and 3, when A.J. missed a game, and then both of them missed the game week 3, I think, everyone immediately wrote us off, which completely understandable watching that. But I was literally looking and I was like, yeah, but A.J. and Devontae Smith aren't out there. Why do you guys immediately think that they're done because they lost 2 games early in the season when they clearly have 2 guys who are out for 1-2 games? And then we came back week 4, week 5, week 6, just kicked ass. Yeah, that's my biggest concern again, except I'm less concerned about the other two, Jalen and Saquon. And maybe I should be more worried about Jalen. But man, without AJ or without Devontae, this team is not the same.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really glad they didn't get rid of Goddard because that is our wide receiver 3.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the beauty of it, though, because it's like the trifecta, right? So if A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are healthy, they're getting fed. There's a couple games where Goddard will kind of weasel in.
Goddard has big games, yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's Smith and Brown and nobody else. And then if one of those guys gets hurt, Goddard steps in, and then you're good. Now, Jahan Dotson, week 18, I don't know if people know this. He had 7 for 94 in this offense. I forgot which receiver.
As the lead receiver. No, AJ and Devontae both sat. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was with Pickett, right? Yeah. So
it was Pickett Dotson, and Goddard. Goddard was working his way back, and Goddard also got a lot of targets. So it wasn't like he was the only one out there because Goddard was working way back from the injury. So it was Goddard and Dotson, and they both had really good games.
And then Calcaterra looked pretty good too, sliding in for Goddard. So yeah, it's a weakness for sure, but the way your team runs, I don't think it's a death toll or death knell at all.
No, I think if something actually did happen where either one of those guys went down, they'd go and make a move because they know they're in the Super Bowl window. If it went down for good type situation for a year. Yeah, no, that definitely, it pains me, man. It worries me a bit. Last year, it was if one of these 4 guys go down, we're fucked. And then literally 2 of them went down in the first 3 weeks and we're fucked. But then I realized they were all good. Yeah, no, it'll be a shame.
But I don't think there's a weakness, to be honest with you. I think you're fine.
I appreciate that. Its team looks fun. Looking forward to running it back. Oh yeah, they are the weakness. I'm the weakness. All right. One last thing before we get out of here. I want to talk about rookie drafts. And now that we lost everyone, who is there anyone that you're either? It could be either way. I have a couple either way, and I want to mention. But is there anyone you think wow, looking back at these rookie drafts that we've had, or just even the rankings that are out there, why is this person slipping and why is this person being picked so high?
Yeah, absolutely. Just 2 off the top of my head are going to be guys that I see slipping that I don't think should be slipping, and that's Matthew Golden and Trey Harris. I
think you could talk about Burden too. I know we just kind of touched on him, but Burden's also been slipping. I feel like Burden's end of first, and then Golden and Trey Harris are mid second. I've seen him going. Harris got him at 7.
Yeah,
2.7.
No, Golden's way down for a wide receiver they just took in the first round. And if you look at what happened with Jaden Reed, he was averaging 6 targets a game up until week 11, and then they just stopped throwing him the football completely. He was healthy. He was out there. He was not getting the football. Matthew Golden, they just spent a first-round pick on him. They have not done that in a long-ass time.
For real.
So, I mean, I think we might be, as a community in general, just kind of undervaluing what to expect from Matthew Golden.
I passed on Golden so many times.
Yeah, me too.
100%. I have no shares of Golden, and I kind of agree with you, man. So we know that Christian Watson's out for at least a good portion of the first season. So that's a great chance to build rapport. I know everybody's just like, there's no wide receiver one on this team. Billy has burned into our brains that there's no wide receiver one in this draft, which now I think we're starting to look at Tet like one. We're starting to think, holy crap, what if Golden just slipped under our tongues and like, okay, like currently going at 12 overall. So the winner of the championship could end up with a wide receiver one. I'm not saying this year, but in the future.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of Justin Jefferson when he came out. I mean, everyone was like, oh, Thielen's the guy. Thielen's it. And then they drafted Justin Jefferson. And then all of a sudden he was just a monster his rookie season. And I'm not saying Matthew Golden is going to be Justin Jefferson, but could he get a similar workload to what Justin Jefferson got? Absolutely. I think so.
What if Jordan Love realizes that this whole wide receiver by committee thing doesn't work and he needs a number one?
Yeah.
And Jaden Reed's a fun number two. So he's got the weird like a Deebo Samuel type package to him. And honestly, I'd love to see Jaden Reed in too many leagues at this point. I wish I'd see it. Like, and maybe there's still something there, and maybe this Golden at the very least. I mean, either vice versa could be like Golden could be the distraction, and Jaden Reed could just go and run for a little quick, little zippy 20 yards.
Yeah,
Golden's got cornerbacks and a safety back down the field. So, man, I do think you're right. Actually, I think Golden. I think we've all been sleeping on Golden.
Yeah, I think Golden's fantastic in redraft this year because everyone's going to be down on him. He's a great late round guy.
I think everyone is on board with what we said last year, where none of these guys, except you guys, were probably still on the Christian Watson train. None of these guys are number ones. No, these are just fun pieces to play every once in a while, but never start all the time. And like the fact that you're getting Golden in like the 9th, 12th round, like that is a beautiful piece to add. Okay, well, I actually have a proposition, and I could be completely wrong on this in long run or whatever. Everyone had Emeka Egbuka as one of the top wide receivers. I think he's way too high. I've seen him go 5th, 6th, 7th. He's currently ADP at 7. And I think Golden should take a spot. I think Egbuka should go to the champion. Let's just say we're talking about just a fantasy football league. You got 12 picks, not super flex. Once again, sorry, you should probably specify that more often. Egbuka should be at number 12. Matthew Golden should be at 7. Maybe not quite that high.
I don't hate it. I mean, the more I look at it and the more we've done these shows and I've seen how these rookie drafts are unloading, I mean, I don't hate taking Matthew Golden up there at all. If you want to talk about people taking in the first round, like Omarion Hampton, for example, he goes into a timeshare, but everyone's like, oh, he's taken in the first round, so he's going to be incredible.
Number 2 or number 3.
Yeah, and if you apply that same logic to Matthew Golden, I mean, you go to a wide receiver needy team. I mean, that offense fell apart last year, so they had to do something, and they got Matthew Golden. That's what they did. And he might not be the best wide receiver to come out in the last 4 or 5 years, but he's talented. I mean, I don't think the Texas had a weird offense, so I think Golden could come in.
I know everybody does this about like the rookie of the next year's draft or 2 years draft and like do it or whatever. Like nobody knew who Puka was. Like, I'm not saying Golden's Puka, but like everyone knew who Golden was going into the draft, right? Like, it could be one of these guys later. Jack Beck could be the next Puka or whatever you guys want people like saying. But like, I start thinking about like all the drafts that I pass on people, and I hate looking back on it and going like, man, I drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. How stupid of me. Didn't do that, but like hypothetically, certain players. Javonte Williams, perfect example. Drafted him everywhere. To me, Golden might be it, but like off of Golden, Egbuka, like I'm worried about him, dude. Like you are in a crowded ass room, dude. Like as much as I hate on Jalen McMillan all the time, he's still there. And then you got Godwin and Evans who are still there. Then you got Kate Otten, who's dead in the water fantasy wise, but he's still there, still gonna catch passes. Then you got Bucky and Rachaad White. Like this team it's shaping to be like too much of a committee, and who knows what happens with Mike Evans? Like. They might do the right thing and keep Mike Evans. He gets another 1,000-yard season and he goes for the record, or I don't know if he's already got the record. Probably does. But like another 1,000-yard season. Maybe it's one more year. Maybe it's 2 more years. Like all of a sudden, Egbuka is just wasting away on the roster like a Jahan Dotson. Like And I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that he might just
No,
not have an opportunity. Like, it happens all the
I
time.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Because if you're taking him at 7, I mean, you missed the playoffs or barely squeaked into the playoffs last year. So if you have that pick, Ibuka is not helping your team like it should be if you have a first round pick. Now, if he's going to go at 12, which I've seen a lot of drafts where he makes it to like 10 through 12, if you just won the league, by all means take Ibuka because he is
I
extremely
think that's where
talented.
he should be going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's extremely talented, and that's an awesome addition to your team. But I don't know,
I see him
man.
going
The more
7
I
and
look
8,
at
dude.
this, I'm kind of worried about Godwin, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
he dislocated his ankle. He had the surgery. Everyone expects him to be back, and I would too from an ankle injury. But like, why would they go out and draft Ibuka in the first round
What do they know?
if they are totally cool with Godwin? I mean, the contract you would I don't know. Everything's just kind of weird there for me. So,
Yeah.
especially
Oh,
having
agreed.
McMillan there too, because they didn't. I mean, they don't have to
Yeah.
do that.
No, they didn't have to do that at all. Even with Egbuka, because they have Sterling Shepard. I know he's not a great fantasy relevant wide receiver, but he's been doing great for Baker. He's been like his safety valve and could fill in until Godwin got back. But like, what do they know? You're right.
Yeah, it's just
why would you go out
been
and
in the
get
back of my
Egbuka
head.
like that?
Yeah,
It seems weird. But anyway, I could be completely off base here. Egbuka was one of my targets I wanted to get at the 6-7 slot, but there's no way I was pulling that trigger in that with the 6-7th pick and go get Egbuka and a guy who's buried on a depth chart at the moment currently. So could be wrong. Two other guys I want to talk about real quick was just Colson Loveland and Tyler Warren. Ranked at 8 and 10. I don't think I saw either one of them go in the first round in any draft we were in. And I think we're wrong, dude. Now, I understand grabbing, like, I understand the Loveland dip, right? And I feel like we had this on Rankings Rebel last week. Like, I understand the Loveland dip, right? Like, the Komet's there. We just talked about this. Like, too many targets, too many mouths to feed. I think Loveland's going to be great in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe Loveland at the 13th pick, which I think is about where he's been going. But I've seen Warren go at 15, dude. And, like, everybody was stoked about Warren until he went to Indy. How many times have we been stoked about someone until they went to a certain team? Everyone was stoked about Egbuka. Well, I was, at least. I'm sure other people in the fantasy community were as well. And then he went to Tampa Bay, and now we're not stoked about him anymore. Like, we just got done talking about how we're not stoked about it. Why can we not be stoked about Warren for fantasy, for dynasty?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I mean, the position he's going to play is just going to be that instant outlet to whoever's playing quarterback, and is essentially going to do the same thing that the running back dump offs get you in so many of these offenses. So, I mean, he could be a 6 catch for 40-yard guy, which at tight end, I mean, that's 10 points every week. That's easy.
That's with this current team. Now, let's just say Richardson sucks again. They finished 6th in the league, maybe worse. They get the 6th draft pick. You telling me they're not going to get a quarterback again?
No.
And going back to the well? Who's to say that dude doesn't love Tyler Warren? Like, that's my thing. And we're talking dynasty here. Like, the Warren dip, man, I'm going to try to trade for him. Like, I'm going to try to get him on my team, especially if they start out rough. Anthony Richardson throws 3 interceptions the first game. They switch to Daniel Jones. I'll be like, dude, let me get him. Let me just take him off your hands. Like, I think Warren's the super buy low and draft low even. Like, I've seen him go super late. Like, I don't hope for him at the 15th pick because I don't know if that'll happen. But I've seen him go late, man, and he's currently slated to be a first. I think he's slated perfectly, 8-9. I'd take Caleb over him probably, and then RJ Harvey. I'm starting to get a little bit weary about, but I don't know. Anyway, any other guys you want to talk about before we wrap this up with a nice little bow?
I mean, really, there's a lot of late round guys I really like that are worth taking a shot on, but I would mostly just say Trey Harris is being classically overlooked right now. I mean, I'm on Fantasy Pros right now, and I'm just seeing that, he's going at 15. That's what he's ranked at. Trey Harris was really, really good with Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. And I know it's, he ran like a 4.5, nothing sexy.
People get so wrapped up in the combine, man.
Yeah. But he's just a solid receiver, and Justin Herbert's going to sling the ball. I mean, we've seen him do it his whole career. Trey Harris is the perfect receiver for Justin Herbert, and I just don't think that people are – I mean, I get that Ladd's there. I get it. But they do not have a tight end. I like Tyler Conklin, but he's not it. Mike Williams is back for a year. we'll see if they
QJ's
get that love
there.
connection going. Yeah. But Trey Harris is perfect for this offense, and he's just going absolutely overlooked right now.
100%, dude. I completely agree. I mean, obviously, I drafted him everywhere I could. I drafted him at the 111. Actually,
Yeah.
I thought it was a steal. I was like, maybe I'm kicking myself now about the Golden situation. But I was just sitting there like, man, Green Bay doesn't use the wide receivers right. Luther Burden's in a timeshare. Could have grabbed both of them guys. I'm kind of sad I didn't at the end of the day because I got Trey Harris at like 2.4 in like the next draft. But like, dude, I agree, dude. Like, I feel like Trey Harris is like the prototypical wide receiver, and I know Billy loves to say it. I'm glad Billy's not here because he'd just be like, they're a run team. Yeah, sure they are. Just let them throw the ball. And
Yeah.
Justin Herbert slings the ball, dude. Like, and especially when they're down, Herbert's out there slinging, and I love that they got him a new weapon, got him a good one as well. So excited to see what happens.
No, absolutely, man. If anything, those running backs help the passing game. So more power to them.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're seeing rookie sophomore year of Justin Herbert this year, 4,000 plus, maybe even close to 5,000 this year.
And he's going so late. It's unreal.
So late, dude. Love to see it. All right. Any last thoughts during this Wild Card Wednesday?
I'm excited for OTAs and camps to get started here. We're kind of in that dead zone right now. So, I'm reading reports on the Bears and they're like, oh, the offense struggled today. Well, yeah, no shit. It's a new offensive scheme. Tell me some news.
Not to mention a complete new offense too.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Stephon Diggs is doing coke with Cardi B. Okay. Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. We're running out of
this
news.
time of year.
Yeah, I saw something like it was 100 days till kickoff, and I was like, God, it's that long. It's tough, man. And we're about to be in just baseball season for sports, so it's gonna be a tough time for us all. Pray for you, unless your baseball team's doing good. And then in which case, man, have a good time.
Enjoy it.
Have a great time. All right, well, Billy's not here to say it, so Joe, get us out of here, man.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.